Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very
Good
well.
evening to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you have a good day?
Yeah, actually,
Busy.
yeah, busy day. Yes, I have 3
Shame.
meetings.
Okay. Well, let's get started so that you can get some rest after this.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to share my screen. Let me just get a couple of things open here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to share the screen with you.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, you can see that. Okay, so I've got quite a few things open here, so I thought I'd just share the whole screen with you and then we'll scroll through them and just discuss them. Again, if you have any questions, just slow me down. I'm going to start with this one and then we'll do some class exercises in our second half of our class.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is about CV writing, which is why I asked you to send me your CV. So we're just going to do like some basic analysis on it. This is specifically from Impactus. So you focus on your CV structure and how to make your CV. And then obviously, very importantly, how to customize it for a specific job. Okay, so the essential parts is your personal information, the career objective, your education, your work experience, extracurricular activities. I think that one is debatable sometimes. It depends on your profession. Sometimes if it's irrelevant, I personally leave it out.
Yeah, exactly.
And then skills
Sometimes
is
it's not
obviously a
relevant.
Yes, exactly. So nobody cares if I like to walk on the beach.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
employer doesn't worry about that. So, but if it's something that's particularly impressive, like maybe you run marathons or something like that, and that shows that you are a very hard worker, then it's a good thing to add.
Yeah.
Okay, then as well as skills is obviously a very important one, and references. Okay, so personal information, obviously just very simple, name, address, date of birth. And I find address these days, it's not as important. So long as you put the city and maybe the area, the rest, you don't need to give them your house number always.
Postcode.
Okay, then phone number, email, and then often a nice thing to do with it is a LinkedIn profile or a portfolio, depending on your industry. And then an image. People like a photo for some reason. They like to see who they are employing. So that is a popular one to do.
But recently I checked many CV in IT field, and
Yes,
I saw them do not include their image
photograph.
in the
Okay.
do not include their image in their CV.
Okay. Well, look, like I said, this is all very personal. You must decide at the end of the day, it's your CV. So I do find a lot of people don't have the image, but especially in that type of line of work. So you must decide what you want to add in. At the end of the hour, I can't tell you what to do. So this is just one of the things that they do recommend. Okay, then for the structure. So very importantly, we call it the the KISS strategy. So it's keep it simple, stupid, the KISS. So
why
again,
is it stupid? Sorry, can I ask a question? Why is it stupid? Why is
it's just
stupid?
a saying. It's just a saying. So a lot of people like to overcomplicate things. So it's when people overcomplicate things, then they're like, keep it simple, stupid. So it's just a saying. Yes. Okay. Yours is definitely not overcomplicated though. I already had a brief look at it. So I think you got this principle. The whole point is to not just with the career objectives, but also your entire CV. You don't need to, people don't want to read like back in the day. I don't know, when I started working even and 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I don't know, CV seemed a lot longer then. Today, people don't have time. So there is also the difference we spoke about last week between the CV and the resume. So the resume is technically the shorter one and the CV can be longer. But for the most part, nobody's going to read a 10-page CV. Nobody has that kind of time. So keeping it simple is a good approach for everything. You obviously have to have all the relevant information in, but for the rest, I just focus on keeping it simple. Okay, so specifically with career objectives is a nice thing so career objective is basically saying what you sort of do and where you want to be. So you're focusing on your objective, a strong trait, as well as your education, your experience, your skills, the position in the company, and any value added. So your career objectives is obviously, sometimes it can be something like this, which is basically highly motivated, which is the strong trait, business administration graduate with, and then it gives the education, looking to fill a position as a management assistant at giving the company, and then wishing to use strong data analysis and management skills to help the corporation and with your upcoming challenges. So they very much focus on added value. You still with me? Okay. Okay, so the next thing when we look at, again, for career objectives, there's just a couple more examples here, but I don't think we need to focus on this too much. The important thing is, again, having that objective, having a strong trait. So whether you say resourceful or adaptive or whatever it may be, you're always selling yourself. So that's the focus. Your education, experience, skills, the position that you're applying for, and then what you bring to the table. So what you value, you add. Okay, so I'll make this information available to you. I don't think you need to focus on all of this too much. Like I say, your CV is well set up, and I think your line of work is very particular. So this is a very broad statement. Okay. A very important one is obviously your education. Okay, so listed from, and I did mention this last time as well, but you do your most recent to nobody cares about your high school diploma. So you have your latest education at the top and then the rest going downwards. Also include if you have any achievements or awards or anything like that, is quite a nice one to include. And then the big one, the work experience. Work experience is, they say, when you are a fresh graduate, you have to get into a job, you have to have 10 years work experience, even though you're straight out of university. So it's the big one and it's the difficult one to get. And I saw your structure there. So your work experience looks great. So you're very privileged with that. Lots of years of hard work, clearly, and it looks great on your CV. So again, focusing, you list from the most recent to the least recent. Again, nobody cares if you worked in an ice cream shop when you were in high school. So make sure, again, it's relevant. Okay. You include the job title, the organization, the dates that you were employed, any specific projects, and this is obviously now depending on the line of work, if that is important. I think responsibilities is almost more important, as well as achievements. So saying if you were a team leader, or if you, something that's like shows the traits that you're going to take into your next job. Because at the end of the day, again, a CV is just a way to sell yourself. Okay, and then important, like I said, be selective. Like you only want to add in the things that actually show value. Irrelevant experience, you obviously don't want big gaps in if you have a gap where you did something random, that's fine, you can add it in, but for the most part yours is fairly straightforward, so that's fine.
I'm sorry,
yes,
be selective, what does that mean? I mean,
so be selective. So like I said, if you say worked at an ice cream shop when you were in high school, that's not relevant. So that's not relevant work experience. It's like, it is work experience, you did it, but it's not relevant. So you be selective. You only add the work experience that actually is going to help you get the job.
Yeah,
So
that means
again,
you should ask something important and related to the job description and maybe
yes.
suitable for this interview, right?
Yes, definitely. So you
Yeah.
focus on, like I say, the whole point of the CV, as well as the interview, everything, you are selling yourself. So the CV is just basically giving details of, if you're going to go buy a car or if you're going to buy anything, you go look at the details. You find out, is it a good brand? Is it reliable? Is it going to get me from point A to B, etc. So it's the same principle. This company is buying your services. So
Yeah.
this is just a way to sell yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you need to portray it to what they are looking for. So like I say, you need to be selective in the sense that you only add what is relevant, and you add things that is, again, going to highlight your qualities that they want.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so then for some of the structure, okay, so this is the extracurricular activities. Like I say, this one is it's opinion based. I personally, if you like involved in very charitable work or something like that, then that obviously looks really good. But for the most part, nobody cares if you play soccer or tennis or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for the
Yeah.
most part, extracurricular activities, again, need to be selective and relevant. So if it's something that is going to highlight what's going to make you a good employee for that company, then great. If not, just leave it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then skills, a very, very important one. Oftentimes what I see now as well is that skills and experience is they're very close to one another, and people sort of list them side by side or even like together. So they sort of list experience and then the skills that they gained from that experience. So it can be done either way, but again, this is a very important one. So I saw yours as well, and you have, so it's listed well, it's clear, they can see exactly what they're buying. Okay, and then obviously a very important one is your references. So people want to know that, I mean, you can say that you were the first man on the moon. If you don't have a reference,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
they're gonna,
I have no reference.
so a lot of people lie on their CVs. That's the point. So this gives you credibility. Very importantly, obviously, you need to make sure that whoever you put it as part of your references, they're going to give you a good reference. Like you can't put somebody in there that's going to be like, oh no, he was very lazy, or yeah. So make sure it's somebody that liked you. Like, I know this can be difficult, especially, I mean, a lot of people, the only reason a lot of people leave their job is because they were unhappy there. So that references do become actually they can be a tentative subject, like they can just be difficult, but they are essential. So it's good to have good relationships where you are and where you're going. So that's important, which I think, as far as I understand, you clearly do have. And you're not leaving your job because you're fired, which is obviously would be a very bad reference, or you're not leaving your job because you absolutely hate it and the people that you work with could see it. So oftentimes, but there's lots of different situations. But again, make sure whoever is your reference, that they are going to give you a good reference. Something that I do recommend is get somebody like one of your family members to fake phone and like pretend that they're asking for a reference, just to ensure that those people are giving you good references. If you're unsure, if you know it's somebody and you know they're going to give you a good reference, then it's obviously not necessary. Okay, so just the general things to like highlight, guidelines. So we focus on simplicity. So again, like I said, keep it simple, stupid. So you focus on that KISS principle, which you very much, without knowing what that meant, you very much went with that. You highlight what is important. Always stay truthful. Obviously, you don't want to say that I am highly skilled in Excel if you don't know what Excel even is, or if you've never done a spreadsheet. Keep it unique. Again, the point is to sell yourself and be true to yourself. Tailor it for the job that you want. Okay, so this one I think is honestly probably the most important thing. So I have several different job descriptions based on what I'm doing. If I'm English teaching or if I'm doing my other job, my CVs look completely different. So depending on the type of job, and I mean, it's all my experience, it's all my stuff, but I only have added the relevant stuff for each job that I'm looking for. So it's very important to tailor it for the job. You don't just give all your information, you only give the relevant stuff and you tailor it that, again, they're using this to buy your service. So yeah. Okay, so the rest of this is fairly, we've covered it, making sure that's chronological in the sense that the latest stuff is first and the older stuff is a bit later on. Okay, so this is actually quite a nice one. So to include power words, but I'm careful with these as well. So the way you word your CV is obviously important. The way you write it is important, but you don't want to add fancy words just for the sake of adding fancy words, because again, then you sort of miss that whole point of keeping it simple. So, but it is nice to have a look at some of these. I do have some examples later on in this. Again, keeping things very relevant and only what's important. Don't just add. A lot of people want to add these long sentences and make it sound like they're very smart, but nobody's going to read it because it's too long.
Yeah.
So we're focusing on that. Okay, then also you qualify and you quantify your experiences whenever possible. So this one is very, like I said, sometimes people they'll say this is the work experience and this is kind of the skill that they gain from that work experience. So it doesn't necessarily have to literally be a number and a percentage where possible. It can also be based on this work experience. I now have this skill and I'm now a stronger communicator or whatever it may be. So sort of, yeah, showing that your work experience, you learned something from your work experience, which is now going to make you a better employee to this specific company. Okay. Okay, this stuff I'm not going to even go through it because I already had a look at yours, and a lot of people want to use all capital letters and it's very aggressive and it seems like they're shouting. So, but this kind of stuff it's irrelevant. So I'll leave it because you've already got this naturally, but it is there if you want to have a look at it later.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's just, yes. Okay, then there's just a couple of examples here, but I'm going to skip through these ones because we did already sort of, we covered all of this. This little list over here, I'll just zoom in, is quite nice. It's like different words or adjectives that you can use or synonyms that you can use for stuff if you need help with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's really helpful for me if I.
Yeah, these are nice because often you keep using the same words otherwise.
Yeah.
So it's nice to just change it up a little bit. So I'll just leave that in there as a reference. We're obviously not going to go through all those words. Okay, then the other thing that always goes with your CV is a cover letter. Do you know what a cover letter is?
Yes. Email we should send for the recruiter to brief information.
Basically,
also
it's basically a summary of who you are, what you are offering and what you want. Or what you're applying for. So cover letter and the email is sort of the same thing. I know this part I think actually breaks it up into two. Yeah, so they have a thank you email with it, but this is basically sent to the recruiter after, and you can use a very similar format to what you use for this one for your cover letter. But obviously just more simple. Once you actually get the job, then you keep it a lot simpler. Okay, so for cover letter, again, you're just covering the basic parts. I'm just going to scroll down to this one. You sort of have it in three main parts. Again, focusing on my biggest principle is when people are, yes, you want all your information, your education, your skills, you want all of that in, but you don't want to bore people. People get bored really quickly. We are, especially in this day and age, we're living in, people need constant entertainment and our attention span is extremely short. So you have to keep it short and sweet. Basically introduce yourself, state what you are applying for and where you saw it. They always want to know where you saw the advertisement or the job. Explain why you're interested in their organization. You've done lots of research here already, so you'll be absolutely fine. Outline what makes you perfect for the job. And again, I'm going to stress this point is you are selling yourself. So the same principles that you use to sell yourself in your CV, you then use in your cover letter. And then basically the second part is, that was the second part. You also explain why your unique blend of knowledge, skills, experience makes you ideal for that specific job. So you mention everything that's good. So your education, your experience, any skills that you have learned, anything that you're particularly good at, or character traits that are particularly good. If you are very hardworking, or you're very adaptable, or whatever it may be, all of those words that we saw up top here. Any of these can be used to describe yourself. And then basically you just thank them for their time. You request action. So you sort of always want to say desire for a personal interview or a follow-up. And what I always like to do is to say, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, or something like that. So you sort of, you're a little bit cheeky in the sense that you assume that they will respond to you. But if you want the job, and obviously if you're qualified enough, I think that's a confident way to do it without being unprofessional. Okay, and then the thank you email is for afterwards. Again, it just focuses on you're leaving a good reputation for yourself. And this is not specifically for the recruiter or for whoever's helping you get this job, or can be for the company itself, the HR department. Okay, and again, just very simple, same sort of style that we spoke about previously. Okay, and that's it for the writing the email part. So I want to do, and now my screen has gone over there. So let me just quickly click over here. Okay, so I've got this as well. I'll post it for you too. It just sort of summarizes what we went through now as well. So I'll just post this for you to have a look at as well. It does explain quite a bit of it too, but it basically everything that we already covered in that little slideshow is in here. Okay.
You already uploaded the file in
I haven't uploaded those yet. No, I've just uploaded the audio. Yeah. I'm always scared. I find whenever I upload the work first, then everybody's like stresses and thinks that they were supposed to do something for homework. That's not it. Okay, but I'll do it as soon as we're done with this class. Okay, so just to briefly look at your CV then, I think my thing maybe changed the layout a little bit, so just ignore that. But again, you have everything again in the correct order. So from your present to the later on stuff, you have very good bullet points, basically saying, highlighting everything that you did. You have your education over here, and then other skills. So the only thing is, I know you said you want to keep it very simple, but the other thing I wanted to actually show you, I'm just going to stop the share for a second. And I'm actually just going to share my screen for a second. Let me just quickly find my full screen. Okay, I'm in my full screen, never mind. Okay, so you can see my full screen now.
It's freezing and
Oh, is it freezing?
It says that it's starting, but not done yet.
Okay, give me a second. It doesn't like to have the full screen. I'm going to just share a little window then, a portion of the screen. Okay, maybe across, yeah. Okay, I just want to show you some examples that I have over here on Canva actually. And this is not just for, they're also very professional ones. And I literally found these in like a few seconds. So just for different layouts as well. So very similar. This one's layout's actually really, really similar to yours. What I do suggest with yours is that you maybe just make your heading and your name and your like what you are, your qualification, that kind of thing a little bit bigger. So you can see like over here, the title, maybe a little bit bigger just so that that stands out a bit more. Some other examples. This one's a little bit more like fun, but it is still quite professional. Yes, another one. Also a little bit more interesting. And then this one I thought was actually quite a nice one too. Basically, again, it's just breaking it up into slightly different categories. This is very similar to your layout that you had. But it also just has the education on the side, the relevant skills. And then again, just having the name and the title a little bit bigger. And then obviously some information. So that's the only thing I suggest with yours is if you don't want to add a photo, that's fine. That's up to you. But then I just suggest that you have your name, but you don't have the title. So I just suggest that you add that.
Actually, in this morning, I try canvas.com, but it's like the paid version. It's not for free, right?
Oh, so yeah, well, Canvas, you can have the basic version is for free. They do keep asking you to pay for the paid version, but all of these ones are actually free. What I'll do is I'll make my screen a bit bigger and you can see it. So I just tapped in what I was looking for, and you can see when it has a little crown next to it like this, then it's pro. When it doesn't have anything next to it, then it's free. So a lot of these are, you can see maybe every third one is free. So there's lots of free ones too.
350 for one, maybe two.
No, so the basic version is free, like always. Just like I say, it's limited ones that are free. But you can also sign up for you can sign up and then they give you a free month for the pro as well. And you can obviously just, once you're done, you can just cancel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a very nice one, but you don't need Canva to make these. These are just Canva's just nice and giving you examples. You can always just look for examples and then apply a similar layout in Word or in whatever other application you're using.
I saw many templates, and maybe I should change the content only.
Yeah. So I think just basically spacing it out a little bit. So if you look, if I make this a little bit bigger, let's do it like this and move my face out of the way.
Yeah, maybe your screen is some problem. It's not sharing.
Okay, I'm busy moving the things now, so it might be because of that.
Maybe you can. It's the same with the last time you should set.
Okay, yeah, it's whenever I move the little screen, then it doesn't want to share again. It doesn't like to be moved. Let me go back to this one quickly. Where am I? Okay, I'm just bringing yours up again. So yeah, all I suggest is that you maybe add your title and then maybe just space things out. I know you currently have it on one page, which is great, but spacing them out, like keeping your spacing even between things, maybe having a little bit more space between the things is, even if it ends up being on 2 pages, it might be a little bit better. Otherwise, if you end up using one of these versions, because you actually have quite a bit of space on the sides here that you could use. So if you use,
space in where?
So, okay, just give it a second. So you've kind of got this kind of layout. Yeah, can you see this?
No, not yet.
Okay, give it a second. Screen share is being difficult today. Let's just open. See if this one will share. Okay, can you see that? Otherwise, what I'll do is I'll just send you a couple of examples. I'll just post them onto the class page and you can have a look at them. Just a couple of different layouts, just so you can, you know what's available. That's all. Okay, so does that make sense? I think you're on mute now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Had
no, it's fine.
Yeah, another call, and I'm sorry, I don't
Shem, no, it's fine.
But your screen is not sharing. I mean, yeah, I see nothing from your side.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop the share now anyways, and then I'll share my screen just now. Okay, so basically the idea is that I'll send you those. I'll send you a different couple of different examples, and you can just have a look at them, and then you can decide which one works best for you, or you can just keep yours as is. Like I say, your CV is actually pretty well laid out, so I don't think you need to worry about that too much. My only concern is Google is a very creative company, so if you do end up applying with them, I would maybe just bring in a little bit of more creativity, even still keeping true to your own nature, obviously, and keeping true to your job and your title.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to close a bunch of tabs as well, because Zoom doesn't like lots of tabs being opened.
Actually, I hope you have any connection with the person that already applied to Google, or maybe Googler.
Okay,
Yeah, bring a best template for, and maybe yeah, the sample I can refer and tailor.
that's good. Yes, definitely. Yeah, look, if you can get advice from somebody directly from the company, that's the best thing you can possibly do. But like I say, I think yours is actually really well laid out, considering your position and your job title and what like the industry that you're in. So
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want it to look like a birthday invitation if you're an IT manager. Like if you're a clown, by all means go like nuts, but yeah, it needs to be true to your profession.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to open up our actual little class exercise, and then hopefully it's not going to be difficult. Okay, just give me a second to organize my hundreds of screens here.
Well,
So many tabs. I like to have everything open so that I don't forget about something.
I guess Josh's computer is so strong, can he open 100 tab or at the same time? Or maybe your desktop is so messed up.
Yeah, well, I've got I use a LAN cable because otherwise it's just difficult. Eh? Okay, just close this one, screen share again. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
Oh, it's being slow today. Okay, well, we'll give it a second.
I think you got a problem when you want to share a particular screen. You should share all.
I'm doing it the normal way now, that like I've done it with all my lessons. Actually, it hasn't had an issue before. But what I can do is I quickly upload it for you on the on our classroom.
Oh, let me check.
Okay, so I'm going to just quickly exit this the screen share, and then I'm just going to quickly upload the PDF onto our classroom, and then we can take it from there. Okay, so just give me 1 minute to quickly upload it.
Haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm quickly just opening the Google Classroom too. Making sure I'm going to the right Google Classroom.
Oh, you mean you cannot set your screen and I so take a PDF file from the Google Class?
Yes, look at the screen share. I'll try and share my screen again, but then at least you have it so that you can follow along. Okay, I just need to quickly open up the right file here. Okay, it's busy uploading now. Just give it a second. Okay, it's almost uploaded. It's just having one of those days today.
It's the same folder. It means lesson 2.
Yes, it's going to be in lesson 2. It's almost done uploading. Okay, so what we're gonna, I'll just speak while we wait for this thing. Okay, I'm saving it now. So you should be able to see it. It's called Business Results Intermediate. Okay, do you see it yet?
Okay, I saw it.
You got it. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to do the screen share anyways, and then if it works, it works. But if it doesn't, then you can just follow along on the slide that you've got there on the PDF.
Yeah, I got
Okay, but then the only thing is you mustn't jump ahead because the answers are all on there.
it. What slide you want to meet them to?
Yeah, you'll have to look at one slide at a time, one page at a time. Okay, so maybe we go into this.
Okay. What is?
Maybe it won't be difficult.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm doing the screen share, so tell me if you can see it because it will be a lot easier if we can do it this way.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, great. It just wanted to be difficult for a few seconds. Okay, so we are working on business results again today. I don't know, I've made quite a long one for today, so I don't think we're going to finish all of it. I think we'll just do some of it and then we'll do the rest in the next lesson.
Yeah. Okay.
So for today, again, same principle or same layout as we've been working with. So we're still working with that book. You did see the book that I uploaded as well.
Yeah.
That business result book. It's a really nice book, and there are extra exercises at the back as well. So it's a very well laid out. Okay, so we're going to start off again with discussion. We're going to focus. We've got a nice long discussion, lots of reading with that one for you. So we'll do lots of practice there. Then we'll do some of our working with words again, which is mostly listening, reading, speaking, and we do a little bit of grammar there. Language at work, we focus a bit more on grammar, and then listening and speaking throughout.
Yeah.
Okay. So our first one. So this chapter is about a work-life balance, which is quite an interesting one. I think it's something that today's day we often forget about. So I think it's a nice one. It's a nice topic to discuss. Okay, so what, in your opinion, is work-life balance?
Yeah, I think work-life balance, like we can separate work and life. I mean, you balance the time, the time you spend for working and the time you spend for life, and
Definitely.
maybe after the time you working and stress time, you come home and just spend quality time with your family. It's like balance.
Definitely. And this is an interesting question, but is there long hours working culture in your country, in Vietnam?
I think
Do people generally work overtime?
Yeah. Of course, in IT field, yes, overtime is a normal, normal thing. And I mean, every country, if you work in IT field, and then overtime is a normal thing. But when you talk about Vietnam, I mean, general domain, general area, general industry has no work overtime culture. I mean, Vietnamese people like balance work and life.
Okay, that's good. And I actually read this somewhere, but and you can correct me or tell me if I'm right or wrong. But I read that because Vietnam gets so hot a lot of time, they have like a siesta, like same as in Spain and those places where they rest in the afternoon when it's very hot.
So sorry, you said very long, and I can catch up. You.
That's fine. I said, I read somewhere that they say some people in Vietnam, when it's very hot in the afternoons, they actually rest and they take that time off to just relax. And then they'll work later in the evenings again, rather.
Yeah, exactly. You mean after you work late at yesterday, and it feels so tired, and you can go to outfit lately in tomorrow morning?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So a lot of different countries have different things. South Africa, we have quite a hardworking culture as well. But again, it depends on every industry, like you said. A lot of guys work a lot of overtime, a lot of guys don't. So, and I think it depends on every person. If you're a hard worker or if you value your family time a lot, then you will prioritize what's important to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And maybe depend on your age. I mean, when you
Oh,
were young,
definitely.
you can work overtime and work forget about day and night. But when you have it turns out 30 or maybe 40, if your health cannot.
I think definitely, yes. Yeah, definitely. I feel like by 30 now, I'm too tired to work overtime. Okay, so the next exercise is a reading exercise. I'm going to get you to read. It's actually two little extracts, so this one, and then we'll discuss them.
Yeah,
so I'm going to have you read for me.
Yeah. How do you modern work-life balance focus on your energy? How do you ensure work-life balance? I heard it a lot after my third child was born, and I had this familiar question. It implies that work is an energy drainer and life is an energy restorer. We spend a third of our time at work, and many things there energize us, while plenty of things at home deplete us, like getting children to bed. The idea that we need work-life balance to stay motivated is too simplistic.
Okay, very good. I liked how you paused. You definitely have been reading a little bit slower, which is much better than even our last lesson. So good improvement there. You paused very nicely at your questions. So very good. Okay, next section.
Rather, we simply must manage our energy. We must learn critical skills to balance our energy levels to ensure we alternate high performance periods with resourcing times. Athletes do this by athletes. Yeah, athletes do this by alternating training with resourcing activities, and we must do the same via activities that give us energy. There are four primary types of energy: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual.
Okay, very good. Okay, so the question then is, how do we better manage our energy? Okay, so you can read each of these. So read the first paragraph and then we'll discuss, and then you can read the second one and then we'll discuss, and then the third one and then we'll discuss. Okay, so you can just read the first one for me.
Yeah, recognize you can stay at high energy and the time to recuperate is essential. Accepting this idea is the first step to better managing your energy.
Okay, so definitely we need time to recuperate, like you've just said previously. As you get older as well, you can't work all day and all night. We need time. We have to balance that work and rest time, and you have to do activities that make you feel good and that just help you in life. Our mental health is really important as well, especially when you're working very, very long hours. This is important. And to be a better employee and to be a better friend, husband, father, whatever you need to be, you have to manage this time.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one.
Don't bundle all the bad stuff together with it into your energy. Reverse and make it harder to bounce back up.
Okay, so again, focus on having breaks in between so that we don't have that very long, we can't work for like a week straight with no rest and no relaxation. So we have to separate them so that we can recuperate in between.
Sorry.
Okay.
Don't bundle. What does it mean, a bundle?
A bundle means that to like group it together. So when you bundle something together, also they often say don't bottle things up as well. It's an idiom saying you're not actually putting things together, you're not actually bundling anything, but it implies that you don't have consecutive work days. So you must basically just have some relaxation over the weekend or in the evenings, or basically just separating things.
Oh,
so not having just work, no rest.
Does that mean when you have many bad stuff, you should separate it and each a time?
Yes, so the idea is that if I have, say I have 10 tasks to do at work and I can't do them all in one day, it doesn't help I try to do them in one day and then I have to work through the night. Rather separate them and do the rest tomorrow and have that relaxation time in between to rest and recuperate and recover and just take your mind off things. But I do also find this is a hard one sometimes. It depends on your personality. I find I'm very task driven. So if I have something that I know I have to do, I struggle to sleep if I know I have a task to do. So for me, sometimes I'll rather work a little bit later and knowing that I'll sleep better afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
So it
I know.
depends on the person as well, but you need to do what's best for you. But the point is to have balance.
Yeah, balance.
Okay, next one.
Give yourself a little boost each day. Expressing gratitude, for instance, is a potent energy booster.
Okay, very good. So expressing gratitude, for instance, is a potent energy booster. So, and I think we take this for granted, but just being thankful for the small things, being thankful for a nice warm bowl of food, or being thankful for your family or your friends. So things that we often take for granted that a lot of people don't have. So expressing gratitude helps us to get through these things.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, thankful for the God give me a job, or maybe thankful for
Yes, exactly.
family and support, always support about the mental
Definitely.
and support about financial also. Yeah.
No, definitely. I think a lot of people take the small things for granted, and then you get more and more and more stressed. And yeah, your life is actually not as bad as you are making it out to be. Somebody else is always worse off, which,
Yeah.
so it's good to have perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And whenever I have faced with a difficult situation, and also I have stuck with many thing, and I so disappointed. I mean, I so poorly. But whenever I feel that, I think in outside, I mean, in somewhere have many people that's poor than me, and maybe have
Definitely.
more difficult situation than me. And yeah, I feel I'm lucky enough, and yeah, get
Yeah.
motivated from that.
My mom always used to say there's starving children in Africa. So the whole point is there's starving children everywhere. The point is that there's always somebody that is struggling more with you. So to put your
Yeah,
problems in perspective and to manage your stress is very important.
yeah.
Okay. So our next little exercise then, so now to relate that to work, is why should your employer care about your work-life balance?
Yeah, I think firstly, the company can succeed in one day, or maybe tomorrow, and it's a long journey. And yeah, employers should care about the employee health, employees' mental problem. Yeah, to motivate them, to have them can strong enough to go with you in the long journey.
Definitely. Definitely. I totally agree with that. And then the other question that I have that's not up here, but do you think that this has changed during COVID and during the pandemic?
Yeah, has, I think you so agree with me that has many change before and after COVID-19.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. So I think a lot of it's a pendulum for me. A lot of employers care more about their employees' health and more about their well-being now, but a lot of employers also just completely abuse the situation and have like they pay people less because they say, oh, but the company's not doing so well, even if the company's doing fine.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely has affected everything. But yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully more for the good. People are more aware of their mental health and more aware of that your work life can completely change where you all of a sudden have to work from home.
Yeah. But I realize there's one problem that when you work from home, I mean, you difficult to control your time, and maybe you attracted by something else that
Yes,
make you do tasks more longer longer, and and you must overtime, or maybe spend more than 8 hours to finish
Oh,
the
definitely.
daily task.
Yeah.
This
So
is
I was
problem.
saying, this is the point when you're bundling your work and your family life together, like during the pandemic when you're working at home, there's almost no differentiation between this is now work time and this is now family time or like me time. So being able to separate the two, and like you say, you end up working longer, which is you're not getting paid for those extra hours necessarily. So yeah. So yeah, but yeah, it was an interesting time. So I still work a lot from home, but I've learned to manage it. Like I only work in my study now. I don't work, whereas previously I would work in the dining room or I'd work on the couch or something like that. Now I only work in my study to separate the areas. So when I'm done for the day, I close the study door and work is and I leave it at home. I leave it in the office.
It's correct, and you do a good job.
You have to look after yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go on to our next one. Okay, so now we have a little exercise here. So again, we're doing lots of reading exercises today. Since last week, we did a lot of listening exercises. So we still got some listening exercises coming up. But we're going to do lots of reading today and then understanding and just discussing them. Okay, so the first one is you need to read the extract of this company's terms and conditions for its employees, and then choose the correct heading for each section. Okay, so I'll get you to read them one at a time for me, and then we're going to decide which one is based on family and health, which one is based on working hours, and which one is their holiday policy.
Okay.
So I'm going to get you to read this one first.
First I read the first paragraph. The company operates a system of fixed time. All employees must be at work during the core hours between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. But they can start and finish work between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Employees must take their lunch break anytime between midday and 2 p.m. And this should not be less than 30 minutes long. Paid overtime must be done outside of the flexible working hours, for example, before 8 a.m. and after 6 p.m. and agree in writing by your manager. The company also allow home working where appropriate to the employee's role and responsibilities for up to maximum of 8 hours on one day a week. Request to work from home must be made in writing to your manager.
Okay.
I think
so based on this paragraph.
Talk about the working hours.
That's correct. Good job. Okay. We'll discuss these more just now, but you can read the next one for me.
Okay. Full-time employees receive 25 working days holiday, not including public holidays in a calendar year. Annual leave for part-time staff is calculated according to the number of days work per year. After 5 years of service, an employee can take an extra 2 days leave per year. Manager may accept requests for additional leave depending on your circumstance. And I think it's to talk about holiday.
Yes. Okay, good.
Okay,
and the last one.
Expectant mother can take up to 52 weeks maternity leave at the following rates: 12 weeks of full pay, 27 weeks of statutory pay, and then additional 13 weeks of unpaid leave. Father can take 2 weeks off for paternity leave and any time between the child birth until 8 weeks afterwards. For sick leave, employees receive full pay for a short-term illness up to 28 days. For long-term illness, employee over 24 months service will receive full pay for up to 6 months. Employees with under 24 months service receive statutory pay after 28 days. a medical certificate is required from your doctor if you absent for more than 5 days. Yeah, of course, it's talking about family and health.
Okay, correct. Okay, so we have working hours, we have holiday, and we have family and health. Okay, so I got you to read them all so we can discuss them now in order so that we can remember what you've just read. Okay, so it's a little bit of a challenge there as well. Okay, but for our working hours, what do you think of this company?
Yeah, I think the company is so okay. I mean, has a flexible time, and for the employee can choose what's the best for them. And also, yeah, the call hours is so short. I mean, yes, it's maybe like 5 hours. Yeah, it's good
Yeah,
for it's a good company. I mean, and
definitely.
the break time is so long. I mean, from the 12 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's so long and enough for the
It
you.
is long and it should
Yeah,
not be less than 30 minutes. That's quite nice. So
yeah,
at
yeah.
least a 30-minute, you have to take at least a 30-minute break. So a lot
It's
of
so
companies
weird.
are like,
Okay.
okay, so I think this would be a very nice company to work for. They clearly give you flexible hours and clearly they do speak about giving you the option to work at home, depending on your job and your responsibility and if your manager gives consent. But yeah, it seems like quite a nice flexible company.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and what about the holidays? What do you think of their holiday policy?
Yeah, holiday is also very good because the employee can receive 25 working days holiday. Is in Vietnam I receive only maybe 12 days
Yeah, South Africa's the
holiday.
same. We are much less. Companies do between 10 and 14 days maximum if you're
Yeah,
lucky.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, 25 is very nice.
And also we can get extra 2 days after 5 years of employee.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's very nice. So
Mhm.
they are actually yeah, they are rewarding loyalty. So that's good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then lastly, the family and health plan.
Yeah, I don't know in the true life it has a company like this because the father also gets the maybe 2 week.
The
Oh yeah,
paternity leave.
2 week off for the paternity leave is from between the child birth until the 8th week afterwards. And in Vietnam it has no no week off for the father. Yeah, only for
Yeah.
the yeah.
Yeah, South Africa's the same. There's very
Yeah,
few companies that obviously they give maternity leave, but even then, I don't even think the maternity leave's definitely not as long as they're saying over here.
yeah,
But yes, the father definitely doesn't get off in South Africa.
yeah, exactly,
So
exactly.
some companies maybe, but it's definitely not a policy. I think this is that's very much focusing on the luxury of first world countries.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, South Africa and Vietnam, no.
At the same right, and
Yeah.
additionally, this company has the very very good service for loyalty, like long-term units
Mm,
employee with over 24
yeah.
months service with full pay for up to 6 months. It's so
Yeah,
good.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
Very
amazing.
good.
Yeah,
In South Africa, if you can't do your work, they find someone else.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
very
yeah.
sad.
It's the same with
Yeah.
Vietnam.
They
We
obviously have labor laws, but definitely not as lenient as this.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
We
yeah, I
should
think
find
this is a
some
great
company like
company to
this.
work for. I don't know
Yeah.
how the employers can stay in business and make money still. But yeah, for the employees, it's great.
Yeah, exactly. Not good for employer.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how the employer makes money. If everybody's sick, they are bankrupt.
But how we know how about the monetary? I mean, like some people is make much money from the dirty thing, and
Oh, definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot
they
of people will be
invest.
dishonest about it.
I don't know the
Yeah.
English word, but it's like, what's the money?
Wasted money?
No, what's, I mean, what's this is, and what's the money?
Oh, money laundering.
Oh,
Yes, money laundering. Okay, yes.
money
Yes, I
laundering.
was like, wait, what? And it's like, it's literally washed money. Yes. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I don't know that word, and I try to explain
Yes,
for
so
you.
money laundering. Yeah, these are
Laundering.
not terms that you need to know in business.
Yeah. I should know. I should know.
Yeah. It's just be look out for the sneaky guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, so we already spoke about this a bit, but do you think that it provides a good work-life balance for employees?
Yeah,
Definitely.
really good for employee.
Very good for life. I don't know, so good for work. Okay, and then yeah, like we said, I don't know how the employers can afford it, but obviously this is very much based on first world where your economy is very different. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
think we're
actually,
focusing on that.
recently I heard on internet, or maybe some magazine about Sweden apply
Oh yes.
the rules that work 5 hours a day, and maybe
And 4 days a
4.
week, isn't it
Yeah,
now?
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
4-day weekday. I was like, yo, that's so nice. I want a
It's so,
4-day weekday.
yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. So yeah, they're very focused on mental health and like focusing on your work-life balance. But also keep in mind the idea is that they focus on positive rewards. And so the idea is that the employees work harder in those 5 hours and in those 4 days than they do in like your normal 5 days and 8-hour work days. So yeah, that's their backing. But obviously this, for me, it's very, you must have quite strict like check up on your people then, because otherwise if they're still just going to relax, then there's going to be much less work done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it depends on employee. I mean,
Yeah.
in the short time, you can work the same productivity. It's so hard for
Yeah.
someone that lazy, or maybe not active.
Yeah. It also depends on the type of job that they're doing. So if
Yeah.
you're doing something that is very demanding, then maybe the shorter hours would be better for you and you would be more focused and produce better work. But if it's somebody that's just doing like a regular job, like say, for example, like a receptionist, like how do they do that? Because then does the company just close? Or do
Yeah,
they have
exactly.
shifts? Or like, that's always my question, like, because yeah. But yeah, interesting conversation. Okay, so the next one we're going to discuss is compound words. So this whole section has sort of been touching on compound words. A compound word is basically two words together. So it doesn't need to be one word. It can be one word, like say flexi time, that's one word, but it can also be something like full pay, which is two words, but it has one meaning. So statutory pay, home working, annual leave, overtime, core hours, additional leave, unpaid leave, and then paternity leave. So the idea of this is we basically I'm going to get you to read these definitions for me. So 1 to 10, and then we are going to pick which words fit into each one.
Yeah.
So for example, number 1, a system of working a particular number of hours each week or month, but choosing when you start and finish. So that one is obviously flexi time.
Yeah. And the second,
Okay.
the times when you always have to work, I think it's a core hours.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time at work in addition to your normal hours. I think time at work in addition working time.
Okay, so basically if you have to work late or if you have to
Over
come in early.
addition. Oh yeah. Overtime.
Yes, very good.
Not working in your office, but at your house. Yeah, home working.
I'm working or just relaxing.
So
Okay, next one.
it's number of days off for holiday per year. I think is annual leave.
Yeah, so annual leave means yearly leave. So yeah.
Okay, each day off. Each day off. I think is like unpaid leave. No.
In our countries, maybe yes. but,
Ah,
but it's actually
paternity leave.
also
Oh, oh, additional leave.
in-
Oh, yeah,
additional leave, yes. Like I say, in Vietnam or South Africa, maybe it could be those days.
but maybe unpaid. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, so number 6 is yeah, extra days off is additional leave.
Okay, additional leave. Okay.
And this is now obviously you would have to ask for additional leave in advance. It's not if you're sick or if you are absent or yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
The 7, an official rate of pay according to the law. I think it's full pay.
Okay, so this one is actually different in South Africa. I don't know what they call it in Vietnam, but abroad they call it statutory pay. We call it minimum pay.
Minimum pay.
Yeah, so minimum wage. But it's basically what the law says you have to pay somebody minimum.
Okay. Time off with no money. Yeah, unpaid leave.
Yeah.
Time off for men to spend time with new baby. Yeah, paternity leave.
Yes.
And own your normal salary, full pay.
Okay, very good. Okay, so you got all of them. So again, the core hours is when you're expected to work, if you have like flexi time. And then the other ones that so yeah, this, I don't know, what do they call it in Vietnam? What do they call statutory pay in Vietnam?
Actually, the basic salary.
Basic salary. Okay, yeah. So it's basically what the government says is a minimum wage for something. So South Africa, we call it minimum wage. Other places call it statutory pay or yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, I will make these. Yeah, I did post the slides already for you then. Okay, so read a new employer's questions to their manager. And then using the terms that you already read over here, what will the manager reply? So according to company policy, can I start work earlier in the day so that I finish by 5 o'clock?
Yeah, yeah. According to the company law, you can you must be working during the call hour between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. That means you can start early and finish by 5 o'clock.
Okay, so what time's the earliest they can start?
Earlier can start. I
I'll
think
put my little arrow over here for you.
8 a.m.
Okay, so they have to be between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., but they must be there by 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. So they can start at 8 and leave by 4.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to finish work every day at 3:30. Is that possible?
I think it's no, because you must in office in 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Okay, very good. So no, you can't finish before 4.
Yeah.
Okay. How long can I take for lunch?
Yeah, actually you can take a lunch from any time between midday and 2 p.m. and not be less than 30 minutes.
Okay, so very good. So the answer for this one's actually just not less than 30 minutes, but it implies that they can take an up to 2-hour lunch. So
Yeah.
that's very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I worked until 8 last night. Do I get paid anything extra?
Yes, of course you can, but you need request to your manager to accept.
Okay, so based on this, it says, where did it speak about that? Paid overtime must be done outside of the flexible working hours, e.g. before 8 a.m. and after 6 p.m. So how much overtime will they get paid?
Yeah, 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay, good. Okay, so those are our answers for the first one. Okay, and then I'm going to get you to read the sentence and the answer. Read the sentence, then the answer.
Yeah. Can I start work early in the day so I finish by 5 o'clock? Yes, you can start at 8. I like to finish work every day at 3:30. Is that possible? No, it isn't. You can't finish work before 4. How long can I take for lunch? Yeah, not less than 30 minutes and not over 2 hours. I
Very
work
good.
until 8 last night. Do I get paid anything extra? Yes, you get paid for 2 hours.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. And you need
Okay.
accept from your manager. Agree
Yes,
writing
yes,
that.
that's the other thing. Yes. So yeah, they didn't actually put that in, but good catch. Okay, so the next one is the
Yeah.
questions 5 to 8 then. So you can read them. We'll start at number 5 and then we'll answer them.
Yeah. Revenue employee question to the minute. Yeah. January the 1st is a public holiday, but is this part of my normal holiday? No, it isn't.
Okay, so no, because it's not including public holidays.
Yeah. Does
Okay.
everyone get the same amount of annual leave? No. No, I mean, no.
Okay, and why?
Because annual leave for part-time staff, according to the number of days work per year, and after 5 years of service, employee can take an extra 2 days leave per year.
Okay, very good. Okay,
My
next one,
wife,
number 7.
yeah, my wife is having a baby next month. Can I take some time off when it's born? Yeah, you can take 2 weeks off after your child birth.
Okay, very good.
Sorry, I was off sick yesterday. Do I still get paid? Yeah, yeah. You can receive full pay for short-term illness up to 28 days.
Okay, very good. Okay, so yes, our little answers then. Okay, and again, I'm going to get you to read the question and the answer.
Yeah. January the 1st is public holiday, but is part of my normal holiday? No, because it's a public holiday. Does everyone get the same amount of annual leave? No. Employees with 5 years service receive an extra 2 days.
Okay, and
My
you actually
wife,
did that one better because you spoke about the part-time staff too.
yeah. My wife is having a baby next month. can I take some time off when it's born? Yeah, you can take off 2 weeks within the first 8 weeks after the birth. Sorry, I was off sick yesterday. Do I still get paid? Yes, you do.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so very good. Okay, so we have great understanding there, lots of reading practice.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
good for me. Yeah,
it's good, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Okay, so we're gonna do a listening exercise now. So let me quickly just get my listening. I think I did post them on the group or on the Google Classroom, just in case you can't hear them, if you struggle hearing them. So but I'm gonna turn my volume all the way up quickly.
I know
Okay,
the
so what we're gonna
problem.
do is,
Mhm.
yeah,
I know the problem because you use your headphone and you turn on the speaker when you play audio. Is that correct?
yeah, yes, yeah. So it's just yeah, so but it uses both the computer audio. So Zoom, you get that setting where you say it must select computer audio and speaker audio. So,
Oh,
but for some reason it still is quite soft. So, okay. So let me just quickly open the audio, but I'll pause. So there's two speakers. They are speaking. Oh, let me just pause her. There's two people speaking. They're going to be speaking about their company and their work-life balance. So
Mhm.
what I want you to note is we'll listen to one at a time. I'll pause in between, and then we'll discuss basically what is good about the work-life balance at your company, what don't you like about the system, and what would you change about it. Okay, so we're going to
Yeah.
listen to speaker one first.
One. I think overall employees at my company have a fairly good work-life balance. A lot of us have to work long hours and sometimes we work through the weekends, but we have a system of time off in lieu. So if you work a day of the weekend, you can take an extra day off some other time. Last month, I worked over 2 whole weekends, so I have 4 extra days. This really works well for me because I can add them to my annual holiday. The only bad thing about this system is that there isn't any paid overtime. I often work late, but I don't receive any extra money. I think that's okay if you're a manager, but not if you're an ordinary employee. I think they should pay us for working late, or they should give us extra time off. 2.
Okay, so we're going to pause it there. Were you able to hear all of that?
I guess.
Okay,
What?
so what do you think? Did he like the work-life balance at his company?
Yeah, I think it's not good. Not good
Okay, and did he say why?
because it's work a full day on the weekend
Okay, so
and
long hours.
after working less but not receive the money.
Yes, so no paid overtime, and he thinks that
No
they should
pay.
pay him overtime.
Yeah.
So that's again what they should change. Okay, so he said basically we have a time off in lieu, which basically means time off additional, which basically is if you work a day at the weekend, then you get an extra day off another time. So if you work the weekend, then you can take a day off whenever else you need that day off, but they don't
Yeah.
give overtime. So they're saying that your time is, I don't know how it works in Vietnam, but in South Africa, usually if we work overtime, we get at least 1.5 pay. So normal hours, or even twice your pay if you work over the weekend.
Oh yeah,
I
it's the
don't know.
same in
Yeah,
Vietnam.
same in Vietnam. Okay.
Same in
Yeah, it obviously depends on the company as well. But yeah, so he doesn't think that's a good, he doesn't think that's great. Okay,
Did,
so
did you
yeah,
did you increase volume?
yes, all the way up.
I mean
Okay.
it suddenly increased the volume and in that time I can't hear anymore.
Okay, that's weird. Okay, well, let me replay what he said just so that we can, so you can basically pick up what we just discussed, and then I'll pause it again before we listen to speaker 2.
Okay.
Okay.
2.1. 1.
I think overall employees at my company have a fairly good work-life balance. A lot of us have to work long hours, and sometimes we work through the weekends. But we have a system of time off in lieu. So if you work a day at the weekend, you can take an extra day off some other time. Last month, I worked over 2 whole weekends, so I have 4 extra days. This really works well for me because I can add them to my annual holiday. The only bad thing about this system is that there isn't any paid overtime. I often work late, but I don't receive any extra money. I think that's okay if you're a manager, but not if you're an ordinary employee. I think they should pay us for working late, or they should give us extra time off.
Okay, so everything that we mentioned, or everything that he said, I think we already mentioned. Okay, so now we're going to listen to speaker 2 and hear what they think, if there's a good work-life balance, what they don't like about the system, and what they would change about it.
Okay.
2. We have flexible working hours, which is good for
Yeah, flexible hours is a good.
Flexible work hours is good. Okay, I'll carry on playing it, yeah?
children. I can start work at 8 in the morning and finish at around 3:30 to make them up to school. And I also work from home 1 day a week, so that helps. Having flexi time and spending more time at home helps me feel like I have a life outside of just working. There is one problem with flexi time though. It means that I tend to work through lunch and I don't always take a break. Sitting at my desk all day probably isn't very good for me, and most of my colleagues do the same. Maybe the company should tell us to take an hour off at lunchtime. Also, because so many people work from home on different days, it makes it very difficult to organise project meetings, as there is always somebody not in the office. I think we need some core days in the week when everybody is in the office for meetings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did she say?
Yeah, she says it's a flexible time, good for the take care of children. She can choose
Yes.
from the maybe 6 to 3:30, and
Yeah.
one more time working at home and outside office. Is so she don't like about system like have not time, not take a break, break because
For lunch, yes.
yeah, for lunch. Yes,
Okay.
yeah, for lunch. And
So that's the same problem that we mentioned earlier.
yeah, exactly.
So if you're working from home.
And maybe
Yeah.
maybe difficult for meeting, because difficult for to gathering the people, maybe. Yeah.
To
And
organize project meetings.
and the things she want to change about the system, like companies should tell the lunch time, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Agreed. Okay, so grab our answers here. Okay, so I had to make this one a bit smaller because it didn't fit in. But okay, so basically, we'll stick to speaker 2 for now. She said that they have flexible working hours, which helps her feel at home, that she has a life outside of just working. She also spoke about the kids, like you said, which was very useful. The problem was with the flexi time is that she often works through lunch and she doesn't take a break. And also it's difficult to organize meetings and to get everybody in at work at the same time. So
Mhm.
C then suggests that the company should tell us to take an hour off at lunchtime. So force them so that she takes her
Mhm.
break. And then I think that some core days in the
Mm.
week when everybody is in the office for meetings.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we got most of that. So that was good. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next little exercise. Okay, I
Mhm.
don't think we won't finish this section, but we'll just start a little bit and then we'll carry on with the rest of it in our next lesson on Thursday.
Mhm.
Okay, so find out your work-life balance. So this is a quiz. So it's a very, very simple one.
Mhm.
But basically, we're obviously not going to write it. We'll just remember them. But write 2 if the statement is true for you, 1 if it's mostly true, or 0 if it's not true. Okay, so we can do
Oh.
them together. Okay, so you
Mhm.
can read number 1 for me.
I enjoy doing exercise and playing sport.
Okay, so do you enjoy exercise and playing sport?
I enjoy doing exercise, but not
Not playing sport.
playing sport. Yeah.
Me too. Me too. I haven't played sports in school, so there's no more playing sport for me.
Oh.
I don't want to break a hip or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So same. Okay, so we can say yes because we enjoy doing exercise. So for this one would be a number 2 for both of us.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, you can read number 2 then.
I never think about checking work emails in my free time.
Okay, so do you?
Actually, yeah, I don't like, but I must. I mean, yeah, I often check my email in my free time.
Me too. I'm very guilty of this one.
Yeah.
It's very bad, but I often check my emails. But also, yeah, you must do what's right for you. Can't feel guilty about everything. But so long
Yeah.
as we are still separating, we're still having some home life, that's fine. So yeah, so for me, I would say, yeah, definitely. What do you think for you? Is it very true? Is it mostly
Mhm.
true, or is it a 0 not true?
Mostly true.
Okay, so I never think, but you do think. So untrue. So not true. So 0.
Yeah, the same with me. It's not true.
Okay.
Not
Yes.
true.
Okay. So we did good in the first one. We got 2 and we very balanced laugh. And then the number 2, we both are failing. Okay. Number 3.
And 3. This year, I intend to take my annual leave.
Okay.
2. I mean, 2.
Okay. So very true. Same for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, like we already discussed, Vietnam and South Africa doesn't have like a month-long holiday. So we must take all our annual leave.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4.
I always leave work on time to make sure I have free time in the evening. 2.
Okay. So you do always leave work on on time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, mostly 2.
Okay,
I always,
so maybe do number 1 if it's mostly true. Yes,
yeah, number
I think
1.
it's the same for me. Same for me,
Yeah.
especially working from home. Sometimes it's hard to leave my desk.
Yeah, I always want to try to balance work and life, but
Yes.
yeah, sometimes in urgent situation, or maybe yeah, I have some assignment. There's some must to
If you have a
do
big
task.
project.
Yeah, big project. I
Mm.
mean, prepare for next project. I must
Mm.
do extra time, but I don't want to overtime in office, and then I leave my task
At
into my
home.
home. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you rather take the work home. So at least you are at home, then you're not sitting in the office.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm the same. So yeah, we'll
Oh,
say number 1 there for us. Okay.
yeah.
And then lastly, number 5.
I think it's important to take an hour for lunch. Yeah, it's 2.
Okay. Okay, so you take a full hour for lunch?
Yeah, sometimes because I must go outside and find some suitable
That's good.
restaurant. Mhm.
Okay, that's good. That's very good. Yeah, I sometimes don't take a full hour, but then if I don't take the full hour for lunch, I try to end a little bit early or something like that. So I
Oh,
think I didn't add our numbers up now, but I think we both are either an 8 or a 9, but I think you're maybe about somewhere around here. Okay, so your work-life balance is okay, but be careful. You need to spend more time relaxing.
we the same, right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to read each of them for me? Just as our last little reading exercise.
Okay, 0 to 4. Your life is out of balance. Put less emphasis. No, emphasize.
Emphasis.
Emphasis. Put less emphasis on your job and give more time to family, friends, and leisure. 5 to 8. Work-life balance is okay, but be careful. You need to spend more time relaxing. 9 to 10. You have great work-life balance. Don't change it.
Okay. Okay, so they are very much focusing on we need to relax. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
we did good.
Yeah.
Okay, hi. Okay, so I think that's it for us for today. And then we will continue this on Thursday.
Oh yeah, I got. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to stop that share. Thank you. Do you have any questions for me?
Today I think we both is the same point, and maybe work-life balance is okay, but okay, I have no question today, and thank you very much.
Okay. I see your home life is calling.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So you're done with work now. Go to home now.
Okay.
Okay, hi. I'll see you on Thursday then.
Yeah.
You
See
must
you
have
on
a good evening.
Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.